Who does CBS Sports believe to be the offensive breakout star in the ACC? None other than Clemson quarterback Cade Klubnik. Do I agree or disagree? I'll talk about it next on the Locked On Clemson podcast.
You are Locked On Clemson, your daily podcast on the Clemson Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, Clemson family? Welcome back to the Locked On Clemson podcast, your daily podcast covering your Clemson Tigers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your boy, Damian Parson, always on the ones and twos. You can find me on Twitter at DP_NFL. I'm a national scout over with the Draft Network, as well as one of the co-hosts of the Locked On NFL Draft podcast. And family, thank y'all so much for making Locked On Clemson podcast your favorite and daily podcast every single day, Monday through Friday. You know what I tell you, your family and you're my everydayers. So shout out to y'all. Let's go Tigers, man. But we got a nice show. I got a nice show for you guys. A star is on the horizon. CBS Sports trusts young quarterback Cade Klubnik to be a breakout. We also have a freshman phenom on the roster that we're all excited to see. And I'm going to talk about him, as well as a five-star safety / athlete that put Clemson inside its final top 5 schools. Let's get it kicked off, guys. Cade Klubnik. You know, and I saw this come across the wire, man. You know, shout out to CBS Sports. CBS Sports got a breakout candidate article for the power leagues, basically power 5 leagues in college football, and Cade Klubnik was one of the guys. You know, it was Dean Straka from CBS Sports, and he's talking about stars that would emerge from 2023. And in the ACC, he picked, for each power conference, he picked the offense and defense. And Cade Klubnik made the list. Oh, he was the only selection. He was the selection for the ACC. And per the quote, Klubnik became Clemson's future at quarterback when he committed to the Tigers as a 5-star prospect in the class of 2022. The question was how long it would take for his time to come as QB1, says CBS's Dean Straka. As it turned out, Cade Klubnik overtook DJ Uiagalelei as starter by the final weeks of the 2022 season as Clemson returned to its perch as the ACC champion. While it was a nice preview of what Cade offered, now comes his first full season as a starter for Coach Dabo Swinney, with the addition of offensive coordinator Garrett Riley, who was the OC and QB's coach, and he's who holds those positions, and he held those positions at TCU. Again, as we talked about a couple episodes ago, who crashed the college football playoff party. So Klubnik has Heisman potential upside if Riley can do with Klubnik what he did with Max Duggan last year in Fort Worth, Texas. So that's high praise for the young first-year starter. Now, do I agree that he should be viewed as the emerging star, the breakout candidate? I say yes. And the reason why is he wasn't a 5-star for nothing. He's extremely talented. What I loved about watching Cade, when he did play, was one of the biggest differences between him and DJU was the athleticism. DJ is more of a bigger body, stronger arm, can run the QB power game. He can run the ball as well as zone read, stuff like that. And he's got functional athleticism. But, Cade is much smaller in terms of size. And he actually can, he gives you more boom, more explosiveness to the run game. And I love the way that he used his legs in the times that he played in 2022. But you saw a variety of things. He can create off script and make plays on the move, going to his left or his right, making throws off platform. And like I said, while on the move, but also what you were able to see is just the fact that they used him in the QB run game. You saw a QB zone read, QB keepers, power with 2 pullers leading them. All of it. You saw a lot of the different things. And like I said, then he just can make plays with his legs. So yes, I do agree that Cade Klubnik should be viewed as the emerging star or breakout candidate in the ACC on the offensive side of the ball, especially because having Garrett Riley, who, I've talked about a few times on this podcast over the last couple of days, last week, Coach Riley's going to bring up tempo offense. He's going to, when they get a first down or it's first down and first and 10 and they get 5, then you get with that tempo, right? Try to keep that, especially if you see see holes in the armor of the defense, you're able to attack the defense and attack them in ways that they will be vulnerable, right? You got to think about it. If they have a defensive set or defensive personnel package on the field that you feel is advantageous to your offensive skill players, you want to run that tempo and keep them from subbing. You don't even want to sub because then that gives them time to sub. So you want to run the tempo up and really get into quick, efficient offense and get those guys tired, gas them out, man. Run them, you know what I mean? Run them, especially when you're able to get positive yards, play after play after play. Like, as we all know, Cade Klubnik was a 5-star prospect, 5-star recruit out of Austin Westlake over in Texas, and he earned the Texas Gatorade Player of the Year award as a senior, completing 71% of his passes for 3,200, almost 3,300 yards, 43 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions, and he finished the year 16-0. As he won, he guided them to 3 state championships. So what did that tell you? What that tells me is that Cade Klubnik has been in the big moments. He's been in the spotlight. Texas is all about their QBs, guys. So he's been there, right? So him being there, him having that kind of championship pedigree at the high school level. Now let's see if you can convert that to the college level. Can you be that leader? And everything that I've heard from the sources that I'm close to on campus over at Clemson is he's taking the offseason serious, working hard. He's taking understanding and learning his playbook and his offense from Coach Riley extremely serious, putting his head down and getting to work. So all those things being said, I absolutely think that what he's going to bring, good arm talent, he's accurate, he can throw at all 3 levels. Like I said, I love his ability to maintain his technique and his mechanics while drifting to his left or moving to his, because he's right-handed. So moving to his right is not as much of a problem, but it's more so, okay, when you're moved off your spot and you have to work more towards the left sideline, which is your weak side, can you still deliver on target passes? And he can. And when you have the weapons like a Cole Turner, Antonio Williams, you got the 2 stud running backs with Will Shipley and Phil Maffa. I believe that Cade Klubnik, Garrett Riley. I don't know why you call him Alex. Garrett Riley being able to devise a game plan game to game that will get him comfortable early. If you can get him settled down, get a young quarterback settled down while he gets these reps to build that experience, it means everything. It means absolutely everything for a young man's success. So I'm excited to see what Cade Klubnik is going to be able to do. But I do agree with CBS and their article and their choice of it, the ACC Rising Star breakout candidate. I believe is going to be Cade Klubnik as well, guys. But you want to talk about a star coming out of high school. You want to talk about a phenom, a potential freshman phenom. We're going to talk about defensive lineman Peter Woods and some interesting tidbits that I've gotten from campus about what they think of this young man. And looking for a delicious snack, guys, but you don't want all the sugar and calories, then you need to try the best tasting protein bar ever. That's Built Bar, Built Puffs. You got to give it a try. I promise you, from personal experience, you're going to love it. If you're like me, you want to make healthier snack choices, but you don't want to compromise on taste, which is a big thing. I've got just a thing for you. Built Bars and Built Puffs, they give you just a healthy tasting experience, and they taste amazing. So amazing, you won't even realize that they're good for you guys. So you got to give it a try. I promise you. What makes them so good is they are covered in 100% real dark chocolate. That's real dark chocolate, and they come in unbelievable flavors like churro, peanut butter brownie, and my personal favorite, cookies and cream. And guys, I'm telling you now, you can do like me, go to your local Walmart and get a 4-bar box in the pharmacy section, or go to your local Sam's Club. You can get a 13-bar box with the specialty flavors, or you can just allow us to help you and go to BuiltBar.com and use our promo code LOCKEDON15, and you'll get 15% off your very next order. Freshman phenom, Peter Woods. And guys, I don't want you to take this kid lightly. I know he's a freshman, and the reason why I want to talk about him is because I believe that he could have a pretty sizable impact in his freshman year, his rookie year, in college football. I think this young man can have a big impact. He was a 5-star recruit in a top 10, especially by ESPN. He was a number 9 overall ranked player and the best defensive tackle in the nation listed by them. Listen to these numbers, guys. It's insane. For a defensive lineman, and I watched some of his high school tape. Kid's impressive. But listen to this. He finished his high school career with 260 tackles, 72 tackles for loss, and 29 and a half sacks. In his senior year, despite being double-teamed the entire season, 90 tackles, 23 tackles for loss, and 8 sacks. Guys, at 6'2", 300 pounds, he's athletic, he's physical, he's aggressive. Oh my God, heavy-handed. I'm telling you, powerful. I'm excited to see Peter Woods. And what I was told by a source in Clemson, source on campus and close to the program, that some feel that he already looks better as a freshman than Brian Brzee, who was as we remember a month ago, in the 2023 NFL draft, he was a first-round pick to the New Orleans Saints. So that is high praise because Brian Brzee had a very, very strong freshman year, as a starter. Now, do I believe that Peter Woods is going to start? We got to get to fall camp, late summer, fall camp, late July, early August to see what exactly happens in terms of starting rotations and starting snaps with the ones. But I do believe he's going to play a big role, and the crazy thing about it is he's versatile, 6'2", 230, but the athleticism, the speed, the agility to move laterally, the motor, man, there's a rep from his high school tape where he's the backside end. He's not even the strong side play side end. He's the backside end. And there's a run going to the opposite sideline on the perimeter, and he chases the running back down. Not only does he chase him down from the backside, he catches the running back for a minimal gain. So what that tells me is this young man is athletic enough, he's physical enough, he's built well enough to play defensive end. So if you want to play him at defensive end, and you could think about it, right? 4-man front, say they want to go to more of a more power package, right? You could put Peter Woods at one side defensive end with, Rook and Tyler Davis on the interior defensive lines, and then stand Xavier Thomas up. And now you got yourself guys that can help set the point of attack in the run game, but also they can, get after the passer, right? So I'm twisting stunts, dropping Xavier off into coverage, bringing the backer. You can do a lot of different things, man, and create those simulated pressures that will speed up a quarterback's mental clock for what he believes he has in the pocket to get the ball out, and then allow guys like one of my defensive breakout candidates that I talked about a couple episodes ago, Nate Wiggins, to make a play on the football. And it's just him or Andrew Mukuba, one of the best safeties, if not the best safety in the 2024 potential NFL draft class, which we talked about on today's episode of Locked On NFL Draft. So go check that out if you haven't. But yeah, I think with Peter Woods, again, with his size and his physical tools, and the crazy thing about it is he's a freshman. So if you think about a year or two from now in that Clemson weightlifting program, this kid has everything to be the best defensive lineman in college football. I'm not saying that he's going to be like a Jalen Carter, but I'm gonna say this. The traits are kind of similar to me, just from looking at his high school stuff. Now we got to see that translate to college, right? Jalen Carter for the University of Georgia, when he was on the field, the past 2 years, dominant force, unblockable. I see potential for Peter Woods to get there. And if he can get there, man, it changes things for your defense, because not only your linebackers can stay free because he's going to get double teamed, right? But also it's going to help his teammates out on the defensive line. You can bring pressures because if they're going to double team him, that means somebody is going to be unaccounted for, and you can get into the backfield, things of that nature. But what his impact to me for this season, like I said, just play anywhere, right? Defensive end, you can slide him, you can reduce him inside into the 3 tech or the 1 tech, as well as a defensive tackle. If you can do a lot of different things with him on the defensive line. And man, I think that just bodes well for a team that is consistently, like, the defensive line is good. The talent is good. And when you insert this Phenom, this freshman Phenom, I'm so excited for this young man. I'm so excited for him, because at the end of the day, you have to understand what he's going to bring to the table. And when you watch this kid play football, when you watch him, right? Like, this is a young man that he even, he won the 2022 Alabama Class 7A Lineman of the Year and Super All-State honoree. Like, he's done a lot, in high school, and when you are this talented, he earned MVP honors in the Alabama versus Mississippi All-Star game, right? He led the Alabama team with 8 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. And listen, young freshman kid that I truly, and a lot of times I don't like to heap pressure on young players, whether it's a rookie in the NFL or a freshman in coming out of high school into college. But I believe in Peter. I believe in Peter Woods. I believe in his skill set, his play style, his motor, his relentlessness. I believe in all of it. And then I also believe in how Dabo Swinney, how they're going to deploy this young man. And I think he's going to ingratiate himself very well with Dabo and that coaching staff, just for how hard this kid's going to work. Like I said, glowing reviews coming out of the Clemson campus regarding what this young man has looked like, in practices and when he's been available. And man, listen, let's get the band going. Let's get the hype train going, because I'm going to be watching out for him all season during the 2023 college football season. I'm looking out for this young man whenever he gets on the field. Plus, at the same time, another piece of the impact is, even if he's not starting, having him as a depth piece where you can pull a Tyler Davis or a Rook off the, as from the defensive tackle spot. Give them a breather. Let them get some air in the lungs. They've been on the field majority of the snaps, right? If they're playing 80 to 85% of the snaps, you can bring up Peter Woods with fresh legs. And I can tell you right now, guys, one thing offensive linemen absolutely hate: fresh legs on the defensive line, whether it's an edge rusher or interior defensive line. So this young man is going to play a big part in what Clemson is going to be able to do. But hey, guys, you already know, for what Clemson is trying to do, they're chasing, they're hunting, that they're in the jungle trying to get as many 4- and 5-star recruits as possible. So we're going to talk about a 5-star safety / athlete that put Clemson inside his top 5, his final 5 schools. So coming up next on the Prowl. Clemson is on the prowl as always when it comes down to recruiting, guys. And one of the biggest prospects in the 2024 recruiting class is Khalil KJ Bolden, 5-star safety out of Beaufort, Georgia. And, he shared the tweet that featured Clemson, as one of his final 5. Clemson's got some big competition. The reigning, defending 2-time national champion Georgia Bulldogs, the former, reigning, defending champions and leaders in the SEC, the Alabama Crimson Tide, Ohio State, and Auburn, are all in his final 5. And what you look at with this young man, he's 6'1", 185. He has 40 offers right now. This kid in high school, he's played both, and he plays both defensive back, safety, as well as wide receiver. I'm not gonna lie. I'm actually, I think he should play both ways in college. I think, if he comes to this team, unless he's just that outstanding as a safety, I would not mind giving him some reps at wide receiver. This young man showed athleticism, tracking the ball with the ball in flight, yards after catch as a receiver, but then as well as those things still transition over the defensive side of the ball. He tracked and flowed to the football very well. Good eye discipline, being able to find the football and get over and locate the football where it is or where it's going, and meeting the target there, whether in the run game, being able to lay big hits to receivers coming across the middle of the field, right? Either near interceptions or interceptions. He's got good ball skills, plays the ball, and competes at the catch point. He's very aware, spatially aware. Even when it's man-to-man coverage, he's playing up top, but he's got man-to-man. Saw a corner route where he broke on it. And the good thing about it, I'm talking about turning and locating the football, he turned his head, found the football that was in flight, and made a play on it. Wish he would have came down with it, right? Got to improve the hands just a little bit. But this young man, I guess I do believe he could play wide receiver, you know what I'm saying, in college football. He's just that talented, right? Just that talented of a kid, 5-star recruit. And the guy that, again, to put Clemson in his Final Five. It's not, Clemson's not too far from Buford, Georgia. So it's a place close to home where family, that's what it looked like. He wanted to stay. When you go back to the schools that have offered him, and the schools not just offered him, but the schools that he's putting in his Final Five: Clemson, Georgia, Alabama, Auburn. 4 of those are closer, closer proximity to Buford, Georgia. Now, Ohio State's a different animal. That's upstate. So it's going to be interesting in general to see who, because he's nearing a decision. So you want to be able to get this young man. If you can get this commitment, it says a lot. And going back, looking at his high school stuff, he's right now, per 24/7 Sports, they have him listed as the number 1 safety in America. So clearly, he's talented enough to, he's a talented, really, really talented safety. But they understand that he also, that they listed as well, he plays both receiver and safety. He helped Buford's team to an undefeated regular season in 2023. And as a sophomore in 2021, he helped lead them to a state championship. So this is a young man that has championship pedigree, very highly touted, highly ranked, street athletic, good size, 6'1", right now, right? 6'1", 185. And when I looked at his frame, I said, this kid can legitimately get up 10 more pounds, especially playing safety, 6'1", 195. Oh, man. NFL scouts and GMs and decision makers will be drooling to have a guy with his athleticism that understands movement and breaks and everything and route concepts from his time playing as a receiver. And a lot of DBs, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but a lot of DBs that have played wide receiver typically have success at the next level. Because they take that receiver background. They know, they've studied corners and everything, when they played receiver. They know what to look for. And now they're studying, now they will have the chance to just study receivers full time and they made that transition to play full time DB. So yes, he could absolutely stay at safety if he so chose. But I say let him play both sides of the football if he is, if he's willing and ready. You let him play both sides, and I think, again, this young man, this will be a cherry on top, right? I talked about this. Clemson, for most of the major recruiting websites, have them listed from anywhere from 12 to 14. So if they're able to get a hard commit from this young man, from a 5-star like KJ Bolden, man, the points that's going to add to their recruiting cast, it's going to bump them into the top 10. I truly believe it. I would assume it would push them into that top 10 realm. And if they get up there, man, I mean, hey, sky's the limit right now. Because a lot of times, guys, I'm gonna tell you something. When you're talking about on the Prowl, a lot of these kids, they know, just like basketball at AAU, these kids travel and play basketball together for a lot of their adolescent careers. It's the same thing with football. They go to all these camps, right? Banding passing a camp, the 7-on-7 tournaments, DB training camps, all of this type of stuff. So they know other players on both sides of the football, right? So then they start recruiting and helping pull guys and helping guys flip from another rival school, another school another Power 5 school that has offered them, right? So I just look at it from this aspect, guys. KJ Bolden, like I said, on the Prowl, 5-star safety, but can play wide receiver. He's just an athlete, extremely talented, and I would love to see him in that orange and purple, and white, with the paw game, you know what I'm saying? And just really be out there, balling. Because, like, again, think about it. Be able to move on to move from Andrew Mukuba and usher this young man in at the safety position. Hey, sounds like music to my ears, guys. But listen, that is our show, man. I appreciate y'all so much, as always, for tapping in with me. Like I told you at the beginning of the show, thank y'all for being everydayers and making Locked On Clemson your first listen every single day, Monday through Friday. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are, like I said, your family, or as I call you, my everydayers. So go subscribe and follow for free on YouTube or wherever you listen to the podcast to get the latest episode as soon as it's available. Guys, listen, tap back in with me tomorrow. I'll have more content, more things to talk about. Maybe another offense. I know CBS Sports has their offensive breakout candidate in the ACC, but I have another breakout candidate on this offense for the Clemson Tigers. at wide receiver. I'm going to get into that tomorrow. So come back and tap in with me in terms of Twitter. You can find me and follow me on there. I'm Damian Parson. You can find me, follow me there at DP_NFL. Come and join the conversation again tomorrow on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.